soul, what?
Soul,
Soul,
thou have much goods.
look at all these goods that I
Yeah.
have.
Yes.
This is my fruit, this is my goods. Look at all of it that I have laid up. And what did it say?
For many years.
I got enough to just sit back. For many years, not just a couple of days. For many years. And what did it say?
Take thy ease.
He said to his soul, take thine ease. And what?
Eat, drink, and be merry.
And do what?
And be merry.
So he said, I'm going to bestow all of my fruits and my goods, all that I have. And he stored them for one reason. So that he,
That's it.
and he alone, could take it easy.
Yes.
Now remember now, he said, and there will I bestow all of whose fruits?
My fruits.
My fruits. And there will I bestow all of my goods. And he had nobody else in mind. He said, I'm going to store up all of this so that I can take it easy. So that I can be merry.
Yes.
So that I can eat and drink.
Yes.
Turn to Psalms, the 50th chapter. Hold what you got. We're going to come back over there. Psalms, the 50th chapter. And begin right there at the 21st verse. It says what?
These things have thou done.
These things hast thou done. What is?
And I kept silent.
And after you did these things, I saw them, but I kept silent. I didn't say anything to you. And what did it say?
Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself.
You thought that I was just like you.
Yes.
No different, just like you.
Yes.
But what?
But I will reprove thee.
Reprove means to correct. I'm going to correct you right now. You thought that I sat there and I watched you and I was just like you. But you know what? I'm going to reprove you.
Amen.
I'm going to correct you. And what did it say?
And set them in order before thine eyes.
And I'm going to set them in order right before your face. I'm going to set you straight right before your face. Now, what do I want you to do?
Now consider this.
I want you to consider one thing. And what is that?
Ye that forget God.
Ye that do what?
Forget God.
Ye that forget God, what?
Lest I tear you in pieces.
Lest I do what?
Tear you in pieces.
Now, you thought that I was sitting here looking at you, and I didn't have any problem with you taking care of your own self and your own self only. But I want you to consider one thing. Ye that forget God, lest I do what?
Tear you in pieces.
Lest I tear you in pieces. And what did it say?
And there be none to deliver.
Now, I want you to consider this. And that is, if you forget me, I'm going to tear you in pieces. And there's not anybody that will do what? There be none
to deliver.
You see, people are so quick to forget God and what God has done.
True.
People are so quick to forget God and what God has done.
True.
It was God that held up the World Trade Center so that hundreds and thousands of people could get out on time before it collapsed. It was God that sent that email to different workers in the Pentagon that said, I need you to run an errand for me. And those people left the Pentagon before it could get attacked.
Yes.
It was God that caused the people to forget what they forgot. Oh, I left this at home and I forgot to do this. That was God. people forget God and forget all that God has done. It was God. Look at Deacon Kirby. Y'all see Deacon Kirby? Look how tall Deacon Kirby is. It was God that, Deacon, where was the water at when you were in the flood?
It was coming up. Here.
It was God that kept that water right there so that he could have enough height to carry his wife out of the flood.
Yes, I took on my back.
It was God that kept that water down.
Yes.
He set the boundary. He pushed it down.
Amen.
It was God.
Yes.
It was God that caused the robber that was trying to break into Brother Keith's bus to go into the wrong door. Brother Keith said he had his front door unlocked too.
Unlocked.
He could have just pressed the button and came on in.
Sleeping like
that was
man.
God. It was God, you know, and many of you have heard the story. My wife and I was out walking late at night, and as we're walking along, all we heard from behind us is, and you can hear the legs moving, mouth wide open and coming charging at us full speed ahead, 2 dogs. And next thing I know, I'm like, so at the same time of carrying her, I'm pushing, hoping the dogs don't come towards us. And all of a sudden, the dogs stopped. They stopped. Both at the same time, they stopped. My wife didn't see that. She was looking this way and holding on real tight. But I was looking right straight at the dogs. They stopped, stood still. That was God. He had a fence right there. You can't go past God's fence. I don't care who you are or what you are. It was God. I recognize that. As we said, people forget God and what God has done. It was God that put that extra coat of iron and metal on that car, Sister Francine, that could have killed your daughter as she smacked into that tree. It was God. It wasn't nobody else. It wasn't the person who made that vehicle. It wasn't the seatbelt. It wasn't her technique in driving if she took Brother Anthony's defensive driving class. It wasn't that. It was God. Yeah. It was God that kept Brother Howard awoke as he traveled late at night back and forth to Maryland, back and forth to South Carolina, through the middle of the night. Man may say, well, thank God for those rubbers that are on the side of the road. That was God that gave mankind that invention. It was God. What did it say? It said, now consider this, you rich man.
Ye that forget God.
Ye that forget God. If you forget God, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen?
Lest I tear you in pieces.
I'm going to tear you in pieces. And what?
And there'll be none to deliver.
And there'll be what?
None to deliver.
It was God. All those things, it was God. And we're going to forget about him? He said, if you forget about me, I'm going to tear you in pieces. Amen. 23 says what?
Whoso offendeth praises glorify me.
Whoso offereth praise does what? Glorifieth
me.
Me. And what?
And to him that ordereth his conversation
and to
upright.
Him that ordereth his conversation aright, will I do what?
Will I show the salvation of God?
How many of y'all want to and is willing to glorify God?
Yes. Amen.
Huh? Remember now, it said, ye that forget God. I want you to consider this. If you forget me, I'll tear you to pieces. He said, if you glorify me, it said, whoso offereth praise glorifieth me, and to him that ordereth his conversation aright will I show the salvation of God. True. How many of you all want the salvation of God?